do this. All right.
I can never.
So I am going to just walk through, actually, yeah, thank you. I'm going to walk through kind of the oils that I use every day in my business. I also am going to kind of talk a little bit about parenting at the same time because we're parents as well as business owners. And my kids love their oils as well. So for us, I had, hold on just a second. That whole business and parenting thing. So we started using oils back in 2016, in October 2016. I had started my business the year before. So I had my business for a year. I had a client that I was working with. I also was going to college, taking classes online. And we had 3 kids. The youngest was 1. So then 3 and 5 were the other ones. And I decided to start with oils because I had used a few of them from a company that was not Young Living. And I liked them. I liked what they were able to do. I had researched a little bit of it. Once I started learning more about them, I got more and more excited because it was like a natural solution to like life's problems, basically. And the fact that I could take care of myself and my family without having to go to the doctor, without having to rely on medicine that might have nasty side effects or just not good for you. And so I tried out doTERRA and I tried Young Living and kind of, gave them open mind, like, what did I want to go with? I ended up finding that I loved Young Living way more than I loved doTERRA. And so I ordered my kit through my friend Megan. And then within a week of ordering my kit, we came down with hand, foot, and mouth, strep, and Campylobacter bacteria from food poisoning. And at the same time, it's like trying to do my business and going to school. And my husband was working as a manager at Caribou Coffee. And so our world was kind of in chaos. So I had my kit and I texted her. I remember being so helpless and being like, oh my gosh, Megan, what do I do? And so she walked me through. She's like, well, you have oregano and you have lavender and you have thieves. And those, like, so thieves is really good for the immune system. Oregano is good for fighting off bacteria and like helping that way. And then lavender is really good for the skin. So you can put it on hand, foot, and mouth sores and make those sores get better faster. And so my feeling of helplessness and overwhelm shifted immediately to, I have this under control. I can do this. This will not beat us. And so I really liked that feeling of having the control over what was happening in the house. And then I had a bottle of rosemary oil at the same time. I think I just got it, or I stole it from my mom's house when I was over there or something like that. So I had this bottle of rosemary oil. And so life was crazy, as with 3 kids, everything else. And I had read that rosemary was helpful for memory. I was like, I wonder if rosemary would be helpful for me. So I started, what you're supposed to do is you sniff it as you're trying to remember, or you're studying what you want to remember, and then you sniff it again for the test. So hold on. So I ended up sniffing the rosemary, studying, and then I was taking my midterm and my final, and I ended up acing them. I have never aced in class finals and midterms before, and I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff actually works. So not only was I getting help for my health and my mental sanity because of some of the oils in the kit, then I was also getting help with my homework. I was like, holy smokes, like, this is a bomb right here. So, and like my family is not alone in how it's been helped by this. Like, there's so many business owners that are like, this has been my trick. Like, it's so relieving for things like memory and focus and everything else. And so we we ended up kind of incorporating it. And with oils, it's very consistent. Like you have to be consistent with certain things in order to keep them working well. Like you have to keep sniffing that rosemary, and you have to keep diffusing and rolling the thieves on the kids' feet, or on their spines or on their skin. You can roll right here on the forearm, and that's like the thinnest skin. So we will roll before school, and then they wipe it together so that they get thieves on their body, and are absorbing that. And so that's been just outstanding. So my first oil actually that is essential for business owners is thieves, because our health is so necessary in what we do, how we do it. If we're sick, we can't function to our top capacity like we want to be functioning. And so thieves is definitely the top one. It smells like Christmas. It's got clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary in it. And so that's what we use. I've slacked off a little bit this summer. I need to start doing more of it again. But this has really been beneficial for us. It helps keep colds away. And if you get sick, we have noticed that you get sick for a shorter period of time and it's not as bad. So it really does help boost the immune system. And then we also incorporate, if we're going to talk about immune systems, we incorporate vitamin D and calcium. And we have an immunity gummy that we take from Mary Ruth's. And that one has echinacea and vitamin D, C, B vitamins, I think, too. So we kind of do it from multiple angles, but that's really been helpful for us. The next one is Raven, and Raven is good for congestion. It does have a childproof cap on it because it has wintergreen in it. Wintergreen is not really safe for kids if it's not diluted. So I will put a very little amount in my kids' diffusers in their bedroom. But I like to, before a workout or before, or if I'm feeling congested or just stuffy, I'll put a drop in my hand, rub it together, and just inhale. If I don't have a diffuser around, because that works as well. And you can make, they just came out with a chest rub that's good for coughs and like cough suppressant. But if you don't want to buy that, then you can do coconut oil and mix that together and just rub it on your chest, because that's a good one to dilute. Kiana, thieves does not get put right on your skin. You have to dilute it. There is, so hot oils. Go brush your teeth in the bathroom. Hot oils. So thieves and the wintergreen need to be diluted because they're hot oils. So they're like the clove, the wintergreen, the cinnamon, and they'll burn your skin at a faster rate unless you dilute them with like coconut oil or jojoba oil or like grapeseed oil. So it spreads out the heat instead of having them right there pooled on the skin. And the nice thing about Young Livings is that they're so strong, that it doesn't minimize the effectiveness, it just elongates the oil. So you can elongate the oil by adding the carrier oil, and that works really well. Also related to wellness and relaxation is lavender. So lavender is one of those jackknife oils that it has so many different uses. It is really good for promoting sleep, relaxation. You get a good whiff of lavender. It's kind of one of those like I can take a load off my brain now. So lavender is helpful for a good night's sleep, which we all need. No matter if we have kids or not, we all need a good night of sleep. So lavender is really good for that. It's also really good for burns on your skin. So I like to add lavender as soon as I get a burn. And it helps heal it faster. And then it's also really good for some other things. Like if somebody has a fever, I'll take lavender and I'll put it on their spine to help get rid of the fever. Lemon is another one of those multi-use oils. It is really good for a bad smelling house because that smell of lavender is just like cheery and like, so good. But I like this in my water. It's really detoxifying, so it's good for, the other day I was at my cranial sacral appointment. She's like, oh, your gallbladder and your liver is really needing help. And so I looked in my desk reference and for the oils that were good for liver and gallbladder, and lemon was one of them. I was like, I'm just gonna drink some lemon water and it'll be good. Um, so that, and then it can be also used for cleaning, like taking labels off things, and really just helping you function better as a business owner because you're taking care of your body. And then, let's see, Clarity, which Katie, this is the one that I sent you. So this one provides clarity for focus. It also is helpful for refocusing, and it has rosemary in it, so it's really good for memory as well. And then there's a book called Releasing Emotional Patterns from Essential Oils, or with essential oils, and Clarity can help overcome emotional stress, guilt, or repression. So it's a good emotional oil as well. And so I like this one. I actually blended it with Valor and frankincense. And I will talk about Valor next, but I've blended it. Frankincense is also, so it comes in, this is not one of the starter kit oils, but the starter kit with the 12 oils that I will talk about in a minute comes with frankincense. And frankincense is also calming and soothing. And so I have them all mixed together so I can be focused and calm and emotionally supported. And so that's like I keep it by my desk or in my desk drawer. So I have it right at my fingertips when I need all that. So like I said, Valor is the next one. This is honestly one of my favorite oils. I've been describing it as a corset because it helps me feel all put together and like brave and gives me like that extra oomph. So I actually wear this when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I want to get stuff done, and when I'm going to be in a crowd because I have a little bit of anxiety when I'm out in a crowd. Like, yes, I'm an extrovert and yes, I love people, but when I go into a crowd, I'm like, oh my gosh, like so many people to talk to, so many people that I have no idea who they are. And like, I have a tendency to pick up on people's feelings and emotions. And so when I'm in a big crowd, like I oftentimes feel overwhelmed because I'm just picking up on everybody's stuff. So that is that. And then from the Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils book, Valor helps with aggression, defensiveness, fear of conflict, inability to cope, losing a battle, persecution, resignation, and withdrawn emotions. So it really just is a huge emotional powerhouse. I also have a tendency when I'm stressed, I get really tense in my jaw. And so I'll put some Valor on there. It's also known as the liquid chiropractor because it kind of helps things adjust and like tension to go away. So I'll put Valor on my jaw. And a lot of other people have said that they do that too. So it's I found that trick out in our group chat for our Facebook community for the team. So that was a good find because I was like, oh, this actually really does help. But I think too, when you think about it, if we're holding aggression in our jaw or if we're holding other things in our jaw, that would release it and help with that. And then Gathering is, according to the Releasing Emotional Patterns book, used for feeling bad or feeling enslaved. I used to use this one a lot. I haven't used it frequently anymore. It is very, very strong, smelling like geranium. And it's the kind of like I don't want to say an old lady perfume, but it's very strong, very potent. It's one that you would dilute a lot so that you're not overpowering the whole room. But when I was working through hard emotions, this was a really good one for me. It also, I feel like it also helps with anger. I don't have my book on my desk, but when I was angry, I would use that one because I would I've been, having kids and like dealing with the business, dealing with stress, anger is kind of a big deal sometimes for me. And so having oil that helps me release that is really good. So that's gathering was a good one for me. And it is also like emotional balancing, I would say. And then joy is helpful for anxiety, disappointment, grief, incongruency, judgment, and being miserable. This is one that I've used so frequently the last 6 months because it's like, okay, I just need some joy, some like relief from these feelings. And so that's also from the emotional, the Releasing Emotional Patterns book. But yeah, so I wear this as perfume a lot of days. I'll rub it on my forearms, behind my ears. It has citrus in it. It has lemon in it and tangerine. And I want to say coriander. Yep, bergamot and coriander. And they are all sensitive to the sun. So they'll make your skin sensitive to the sun when you put them on. So you want to make sure you don't put it somewhere that the sun's going to touch. Like I wouldn't slather it on my forearms or like on my face or even my chest if I were going to be out in the sun, because I wouldn't want that sun magnified on my skin. So usually behind the ear, I'm like, that's a pretty safe spot. Like, I don't know, not much sun touches this very white portion of my arm. So that's that's where I do this. And so this one has been huge the last 6 months, plus with like a lot of disappointment and grief, like in business. I don't know how you guys have been feeling, but it hasn't been the easiest, even with business. So I also had honorable mentions because I couldn't pick just 9, but they're good ones. So this is Peace and Calming, and Peace and Calming is really good for sadness. Oh, that's what I forgot. Lemon is also good for sadness. So lemon is a really, really good for emotional oil, a really good emotional oil. I can't remember all of the things, but I know for my daughter, when she was feeling sad, we would put lemon right here. Obviously, we wouldn't do it in the summer before the day. We need that 12 hours, but that was really good for her. So Peace and Calming is also good for sadness. This is one of those oils that I will grab if I'm working on something big, if I need to just calm down. It's one that I will leave open on my desk, or I'll like put in the diffuser and just slather on myself as well, like all over on certain days. And then also for my kids, it's huge. My son actually has a roller made out of Peace and Calming for when he's not feeling happy or like wants to have that oil. I let the kids each have an oil for themselves, so they should have their own rollers and they can use it wherever they want, whenever they want. And so it's one of those, like, I feel safe them having high quality oils that are not going to hurt them, and them being able to judge when they need that emotional support or when they feel like they need that, the smell. They like the smell, but they're also really aware of their emotions. And sometimes like my daughter the other day, so she'll be 9 next Saturday. And so she came into the room the other day, and she had a really like tough experience with her therapy. And so she was like, Mom, can I just have some oil? And she's got like tears streaming down her face. And so it's really good to empower them as we empower ourselves with oils that we can use for our emotions and for our wellness too. But I like the emotional aspect of it. The next one is Deep Relief. This is a pre-diluted mix with a roller top from Young Living. So I just roll it all over the tension because there's so much tension that builds. And it's a great one for the muscle tension. I didn't pull out my CBD muscle rub, but that might have taken the place of Deep Relief because I do love that one too. But Deep Relief or CBD muscle rub are both really great for muscles. And then in that starter kit, the Panaway is actually the oil that comes in there. And that one's good for muscle relief as well. This is the pretty box that you get with all of your 12 oils. And then there's other goodies in here as well. Believe is an oil that I have come to love. It's got a bunch of trees in it. And trees, so trees and citrus and frankincense and ylang-ylang, which ylang-ylang is really good for anxiety, and it's one of my favorite single oils. So in this one, it's amazing. It smells like you walk into like a tree farm, or you walk into like next to like a fir tree or something, and that's what this smells like. Basically because balsam is the first oil in here, but it's I find it's helpful to like be calming but yet uplifting, and like kind of that confidence booster when I'm working on hard things, like this goal that I'm working on, meeting for oils. I will slather this on my wrists, over my heart, and sometimes put it in the diffuser and mix it with like an orange or a citrus oil, because trees and citrus work really well together to have those different notes. And then the last one, as I said, was rosemary, because we all need better memories. So that is that. The best way that I have found to get started incorporating oils is to buy the starter kit. It is $165, but you get over $400 of products, because a bottle of, let's see, I didn't talk about frankincense much, but a bottle of frankincense, the little one, the big one is $75 by itself. So then the little one's probably like 45-ish. But you get all these oils. And so you get 12 oils, a lot of the ones that I talked about, the lemon, the lavender, the frankincense, the peace and calming, thieves, raven, what else? Peace and calming. You get citrus fresh and valor. Citrus fresh is nice. It's actually really good for weight loss. If you're working on weight loss, that's like great. Pointing to myself, I add that to my drink. You get peppermint, so I made like a mojito tonight. So this is liquid stevia, lime oil, and peppermint oil. And so
and it has to be in a glass. It has to be in a glass cup, right? Because I know somebody who would drink the lemon in her water.
Yeah, that's a good point. Glass, because you don't want it eroding or corroding the plastic. And you can also do, I have for my water cup, I have a stainless steel cup with a stainless steel straw that I bought specifically for that purpose, because I didn't want to be drinking out of a plastic straw and then be drinking plastic, because that would be counterproductive. And so, yes, so that one. And then you also get a trial sample of the Thieves household cleaner, which is the cleaner that I use for everything. So it replaces my toilet bowl cleaner, my glass cleaner, my kitchen counter cleaner, I use it for the floors. So basically everything. And it's super, super awesome, super powerful, works really well. It's highly diluted or highly concentrated. So you dilute it in a spray bottle, and I use like one little cap for like 16 ounces of spray. So it lasts me a long time. So you get, I think, a little packet of that. If they've taken it out, I'm sorry. But you also get, I just saw an article on the news that there are certain hand sanitizers that now had chemicals they're now finding to be toxic and fatal. So you get a good hand sanitizer from Young Living, our peppermint oil infused. It's got aloe in it, so it's not harsh on your hands. You get that, and then you also get 2 packets of the Ningxia Rid, which is our antioxidant drink. So it's really good for your health, really good for balancing blood sugar and a whole slew of other things, energy. And then the diffuser, so you can put the oils into the air. I mentioned we talked about all 3 different ways you can use oils. So you can drink them. There is, and I don't have any on my desk, there's Vitality oils. When you get your kit, you'll see there's 2 different color labels. The Vitality oils are white labels. The FDA mandates that we have the white labels instead of the colors for the Vitality. Our oils are high enough quality that it's the same oil in each container. There's no Vitality for this one, or this one actually, but it's the same lavender oil or the same lemon oil as in this normal one as in the Vitality one, because of the quality. So I could drink this one or this one. I don't really like lavender flavored things, but if you wanted to, so you'll get those, and that's the one of the ways. And then you can wear them on your skin and diffusing into the air. So using the water to diffuse the oils into the air. So that's kind of the crash course on what I do and how I use them. I like to keep them on my desk, so I use them. I keep them in the kitchen, so I use them. I have specific oils that we use in our diffusers in the bedroom next to the bathroom, or in the bathroom next to the bedrooms, so that when we're getting ready for bed, I'm not running all over the house trying to find my oils. So really the trick is with the consistency, having them where you're going to use them. And so that's key. But
is the anger one in there?
Which one did I say?
The one you
Joy?
said is for anger.
Joy, I think that was the one. Hold on.
I forgot which one it was already.
Oh, gathering. Let me go actually grab my book. Just a second. I had it on my desk for so long, and then I put it away, of course. So anger they have is for purification, and that one is not in the kit. Let's see. So aggression, valor can be used for aggression. I'm looking to see what other synonyms for anger there might be.
Well, I should have wrote it down. It was one of the 9.
Yeah.
It's not in the starter kit.
Yep. So I said gathering, and I'm gonna look. I think, and sometimes they have so it's just, so sometimes they have like specific oils in them that are good for anger. And I think, so I was actually thinking that anger was good for, or that a different oil was good for anger, but it's an oil that's in an oil that I was thinking of for that.
Oh,
So,
sure.
but I did use, so when I was angry, I was using gathering, because I remember getting that for gathering.
And then the ones that the kids can use on a roller for sadness.
Yeah.
That's in the starter kit.
The lemon, it is.
Okay,
Yep.
lemon.
And then I will read Peace and Calming too, actually. So Peace and Calming, and that's another one in the kit. That's the one that one of my boys has. Peace and Calming is good for addiction, argumentativeness, being a victim, depression, indecisiveness, control, moodiness, and scared.
Oh, check those boxes off.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yep. And so peppermint is also in there. And that one's good for failure, fear of dependency, restriction, or rigidity. Yep.
Cool. And so once you get them, how do you know how to use them? Is there...
That's the best part. You get me in your pocket.
Okay, sounds good. And then to do, if you want rollers, like that nice one you sent me, do I get those through, how do I get, because I'll get like all of the oils, right?
Yep.
And then you go through somehow and get the rollers?
Yes. So I actually buy those off of Amazon. So I can also give you the link for that.
Okay.
I think for years I just used coconut oil that you get from Target, like the Kerrigan Farms. It's like in the oil section. So I use just coconut oil for that, but you can do almond oil. Jojoba oil is really good for the skin because it doesn't clog your pores. So a lot of people use that one for like a face oil type thing. But yeah, so we have a community, like I had mentioned, the Facebook community where you can go and you can ask questions. We have classes. I teach classes on my own, and then there's two other groups that have classes this month in Abundance and Sage. We are walking through the starter kit. So really, really practical. Like you will have the oils that we're talking about, so you can do whatever you want with those. There's one of the tips that was in there was using peppermint right before a workout, so you have more energy. Because you can put peppermint behind your ears, and that helps with energy. So those, there's always people asking questions. So sometimes I just look through that and I'm learning as I'm reading, like when to use certain things. I use this book a lot. This is the Releasing Emotional Patterns. And I also use, and these are on Amazon. I also use this Pocket Reference, and it's thick. So this section, the red, talks about all the different things that you can use oils for. So if I have a rash, I'll look up rash, and it'll say like use lavender or whatever. And it might give you other hints as to possibly what kind of a rash. Like if it's a yeast rash, use this. If it's this, use this. And then this one breaks down the different single oils. So hyssop, for example, my mother-in-law had told me that hyssop was good for the lungs. And so I actually looked it up because I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I've never heard that before. And so this one says that it's a decongestant, an anti-inflammatory, helps regulate lipid metabolism. It's antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic. So it's a lot going on in one oil.
That is a lot.
This gives us the single oils, and then it gives the blends as well, because Young Living has a lot of blends. Like a lot of the oils that I showed were blends. And so it breaks down each oil, what it's good for, what oils are in it, and how to use it. Cool. That is how you learn. Obviously, these are an investment. This was like $20, and this was like probably $15. But the Facebook community is free, and then I text people and have text messages on my phone. So you basically get me in your pocket. And if I don't know the answer, I will ask the answer.
Cool.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in getting my kids, like, especially with fall coming up too. We have one diffuser already, and I do like running that, especially when Wyatt has congestion at night. But I haven't been putting oils in it. I've been just using it as a decongester or as a diffuser.
Well,
these oils have to be 5 years old now, because I got those oils when I was pregnant with him.
Yeah.
Do they go bad?
Not necessarily. I would have to check on specifics. I don't know. I think some oils, I know with carrier oils, if they've been mixed with a carrier oil, those tend to go bad faster. But I'd have to check on a lifespan. I know some people are like, oh, hey, you can use them forever. I don't know. I would have to check on it. But let me wrap this up, and then we can chat.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, that's a good question. So if you guys want to sign up, if you have other questions, you're ready to talk and get your own starter kit, please message me, let me know, and I will get you hooked up, because I'd love to help you with your business and with your family. And thank you for joining. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.